Alright, so this is the start of an interview. When someone is potentially interviewing you, if I was interviewing Niall by way of trying to see, is he a good candidate to mug? Should I take his phone? Should I take his wallet? Should I rob him? Or should I hurt him? Niall doesn't want to be standing there with his hands down like this if he's feeling slightly under pressure by me. This is the distance I should be, or he should be away from me, at least this distance. You want to be at least arm's length. If I'm close to Niall, I'm close enough to hit him. This is not good for Niall, and he has to be aware of controlling that distance. So if he feels under threat, what he can do is go to this idea of the thinking person's pose. So he's kind of looking at me, and his hand's kind of just below his chin. This hand is just below his elbow. It's non-confrontational, and he's bladed his body already. He's not standing square onto me. He's kind of turned slightly at an angle, which is better for him, so there's less of him available as a target. His knees should be slightly flexed, but we're not worried about stance so much. You just kind of get your legs underneath you, feeling quite strong. So there is a kind of non-threatening pose that if I'm kind of starting to, test him out and starting to get quite aggressive, he's just standing there looking at me, but he's actually got a guard. This is a guard. This is the kind of thinking person's guard, okay? Another guard is, if he feels under pressure, really under pressure, he can put his hands up. And this looks like, this kind of non-threatening as well. But if he puts his hands up and makes fists, yeah, this to me is like, he wants to fight me. But this other pose here is, it's like stay away, or, it's like, it's quite passive in a way. But what he has here, he's got one hand in front of him, the other hand just backing him up. So for me to get through to Niall, to hit him in the head, to knock him out, I've got to go past this barrier and this barrier, which gives me a problem. So this is good for him. We also like to control centre line, so if I can move Niall very slightly this way, what we want to do here is not have our hands like this. This is a wide open area where I can start piling through really easily. If Niall's sort of on his centre line, if you can imagine a line running right through the bottom of Niall's body, right from his head right through, and he sort of has his hands on centre, roughly on centre, it sort of gives me added problems because his arms are in, the elbows are in protecting the ribs, these hands are just below his eye line, so I've got this and this to deal with, and I've got a problem to solve. So these are all challenges for a would-be mugger. So now we've got a situation where the mugger is going to kick off and he's kind of getting angry, and Niall is immediately moving into the thinking person's pose. So he's kind of a bit concerned about my antics here. Yeah. And then if he starts getting more worried, he kind of can move into this hands up situation. And I find it kind of more difficult to pile in. I can still pile in, but it's more difficult for me. All right? So in this situation, if Niall's the kind of the bad guy, and he's kicking off, and I'm up here, and he starts to throw a cross or whatever, I'm coming here and I'm going to throw this into his face, and I'm going to take it to